So these are my predictions for the best boxing card of all time. Bivol versus Beterbiev 2. Now some matchups have changed on this fight card, and it is still the best fight card of all time in terms of boxing. In my lifetime anyway. I have never seen a card this stacked from top to bottom. So let's get into the predictions. So Beterbiev versus Bivol first time round was easily my most anticipated matchup for that year. Now I am more of an MMA fan than I am boxing fan, but I was just so excited to see the two best light heavyweights go at it, to see who the undisputed champion would be. I thought both guys have very different styles, but I thought both guys' different styles would have gelled well together, and that is exactly what happened. First time round, the first fight was a really fun watch. It was extremely close. I had Beterbiev winning that fight. My predictions going into that fight was a Beterbiev win. This time round though, I don't know if it's just me, you can let me know in the comments below. It doesn't seem like people are talking about the main event as much as what they should be. Obviously now in the last couple of days, you've had Shakur Stevenson opponents changed. You had Ortiz versus Madrimov now being pulled from the card. And obviously the big one, Daniel Dubois has pulled out of his matchup against Joseph Parker for the IBF heavyweight title. And Martin McCauley is now stepping in to face Joseph Parker in the co-main event. So I understand there's a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts for this card in the past couple of days. But I just don't think the main event is getting the respect that it deserves. These are two of the best boxers in the sport today, rematching each other, going head to head again. Their first fight was extremely entertaining. It was really, really close. I know a lot of people did score the fight for Bivol when the fight had initially just taken place, but I feel like now, with a lot of people rewatching the fight, they understand that Beterbiev did deserve to win that. He was constantly on the front foot. He let his hands go more. I thought he landed the better shots, to be honest, in my opinion. But this time round, I think it's going to be a different fight.
Bruh.
My prediction is Bivol, second time round. Look, what I thought Bivol kind of, and I understand why he done this, because Beterbiev has been in there with countless opponents and knocked everybody out outside of Dmitry Bivol. Now, Bivol has had a past with Beterbiev. Both guys have sparred each other before. I feel like, though, Bivol kind of respected Beterbiev's power a bit too much, because when Bivol at points stood in the pocket and traded with Beterbiev, in my opinion anyway, I thought he was getting off the better shots, but it was just too far, and like it was just too few and far between, that Bivol just wasn't really letting his hands go as much as he needed to. I thought if Bivol was a bit more active in the first fight, I thought he definitely would have won that, and I'm anticipating that to happen this time round. Now, am I saying Bivol should just stand in the pocket and trade with Beterbiev? Absolutely not, because yes, Bivol does have a good chin, but Beterbiev has freakish power, and Beterbiev, despite being knocked down in a couple of his fights, he also has a very good chin, and I don't know if Bivol has the punch power to kind of earn Beterbiev's respect. So Bivol is still going to have to be on the outside, moving. But when the inevitable does happen and he has to trade with Beterbiev, he needs to let his hands go more. And if he does that, I think he does win this fight. And this might sound insane, comfortably. Which is insane to say that I think Bivol, even though he just lost to Beterbiev first time round, will beat Beterbiev comfortably in the rematch. I do believe that. I think Bivol is going to be more active in there, and therefore he's going to get the win. I think Dmitry Bivol is going to beat Beterbiev by decision. I think we are going to get the trilogy out of these two guys, which is good in one sense, but kind of unfortunate in the other, because I would love to see David Benavidez in there with either one of these guys, preferably Beterbiev, but I think Bivol is going to win the rematch. But yeah, that's my prediction. I think Bivol is just going to be more active in there, and yeah, I just think he's going to be more active, and that's going to allow him to win. That's just my opinion. Moving on to the co-main event, we have got Joseph Parker now taking on Martin McCauley. Obviously, this was meant to be Joseph Parker versus Daniel Dubois. My prediction for that matchup, by the way, was Daniel Dubois to stop Joseph Parker, although I thought it would have been an interesting one, because I felt like if Joseph Parker was able to outlast Daniel Dubois, especially in the first 4 rounds, I think it would have made for a much more interesting matchup. I think Joseph Parker would have came on really strong in the later half of that fight. But with the form Daniel Dubois has been in, and the punch power, and just, yeah, really the momentum he has, the self-belief now, the corner he has behind him, I think he's going to be a nightmare matchup for anybody. And yes, Joseph Parker does carry power, but does he carry the power that would put a dent in Daniel Dubois? Because I feel like that's what you're going to have to do to stop this guy from just bulldozing you. You're going to have to hit him. You're going to have to hurt him. You're going to have to make him respect your power to the point where he doesn't just fucking bulldoze you and walk you down. And I was unsure if Joseph Parker could do that. Now, a guy who I think could do that to Daniel Dubois is Martin Bakole, but that is not the fight we were getting. We were getting Joseph Parker now versus Martin Bakole. Bakole is taking this fight on short notice. I think it's like a day's notice Martin Bakole has been given for this matchup. I did read online saying that there was messages apparently of Martin Bakole saying he's about 60% in terms of being fight ready, so he's not 100%. Obvious the guy is taking this fight on short notice. I think Joseph Parker is going to beat Martin Bakole. Couple of reasons. I think Joseph Parker is more proven than Martin Bakole. He's been in there and beaten more elite level competition than what Martin Bakole has. Realistically, I think Martin Bakole is a bit overrated. That's just my opinion. Yes, the guy has looked good, especially in his last performance against Jared Anderson, and he has looked good in his other fights, obviously. But his loss to Michael Hunter just doesn't sit well with me. I know that happened years ago. But outside of beating Jared Anderson, what's his best win? Carlos Takam. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you look at who has been in with who, Joseph Parker is just so much more proven. Joseph Parker has been waiting and ready for this matchup against Daniel Dubois. We were going to get the best version of Joseph Parker in there Saturday night. We're just not going to get the best version of Martin Bakole. Plus, Martin Bakole is coming in really heavy. I think I read online the guy's weighing about 300 pounds right now. And I don't even rate Martin Bakole's cardio. Normally, when he has had a full camp behind him. Joseph Parker can be hurt, he can't be hit, he can't be hurt, he's been dropped. His last fight against, what was his last fight? Yeah, Zhilei Zhang. He was dropped twice in there. But I just think Joseph Parker's experience, the guys he's beaten, the fact he's got a full camp coming into this, I'm just banking on that. I think Joseph Parker is going to beat Martin Bakole either by late stoppage or decision. I'm kind of going to go for decision, but my prediction is Joseph Parker. Moving on, we have got Shakur Stevenson taking on Josh Padley now. Obviously, Shakur Stevenson was meant to be taking on Schofield, not Philip Schofield, before people say that in the comments. Look, Shakur Stevenson is going to win this matchup. I think Josh Padley, this is it for him. This is his big moment. Obviously, coming off that underdog win at Wembley, so the guy's going to be coming in with momentum, but again, he's taking this fight on really, really short notice. Shakur Stevenson is just levels above him as well in terms of just boxing ability. I think Padley will be up in game for this. I think he will go and put it on Shakur Stevenson, but Shakur's just too good, in my opinion, for Josh Padley. I don't think Shakur Stevenson's going to stop him. I think Josh Padley's too tough for that, and Shakur Stevenson doesn't have big punch power, and he's kind of got the Floyd Mayweather brittle hands at the minute. Obviously, he is coming back from that hand injury. Do I think this is going to be like a really big performance from Shakur Stevenson, that's going to put him on the map? No, I don't. I think he is going to look good in there, though. I think he is going to beat Josh Padley comfortably by decision. Moving on, we have got Carlos Adames versus Hamza Shiraz. Now, this fight right here, honestly, it could be 50-50. I don't think a lot of people are giving Carlos Adames, the respect that he deserves going into this matchup. I am, though, going to have to go for Hamza Shiraz. I think this guy has made so like every fight he's in, you can see the drastic improvements that he's making. His last fight against Tyler Denny, he absolutely blitzed him in Wembley. Obviously, Carlos Adames is so far from Tyler Denny in terms of ability. He's much better, but I think Hamza Shiraz is big for this division. He's got crazy KO power. He's also very long and rangy for this division, which I think is going to cause Carlos Adames problems in there. I'm going to go for Hamza Shiraz to win this by decision. I think this is going to be a close fight. Don't be surprised if Carlos Adames wins, but I am going to bank on Hamza Shiraz getting the job done. Ortiz versus Madrimov is off the card. I was actually going to go for Madrimov to win this matchup, but it doesn't matter now. The fight is off. Moving on, we have got Zhilei Zhang versus Agat Kabayel. This right here is a 50-50 matchup, in my opinion. A part of me wants to go with Kabayel. I think this guy's being very underrated. I think he is kind of starting to get his flowers now. He does do really good work to the body, and Zhilei Zhang does slow down in every fight he's been in. The cardio is not on his side. I'm kind of leaning towards Zhilei Zhang to get the job done here. I think Zhilei Zhang, Kabayel is undefeated, but I think Zhilei Zhang, even though he is like 105 years of age, the guy's a big puncher, he's a good mover. early on, and he's coming off that big win over Deontay Wilder. Zhilei Zhang is fucking massive. This is a hard one to pick. I'm going to go Zhilei Zhang to beat Kabayel. And finally, Joshua Buatsi versus Callum Smith. This is crazy that this fight is what is walking first for the main card. This headlines anywhere in the UK in terms of the O2, the Co-op Arena. This is a massive fight. I'm going to go for Joshua Buatsi to get the job done here. I actually see him stopping Callum Smith. But again, this fight is so close. I could also see Callum Smith getting the job done here as well. Both guys are elite fighters. I just think Joshua Buatsi, at this point in his career, is just a level above Callum Smith, if I'm being honest. And I think Joshua Buatsi is going to stop him in between rounds 7 to 9. That's going to be my prediction. In around them rounds, I think Joshua Buatsi is going to stop Callum Smith. But you can let me know your opinions in the comments below. Who do you think is going to win the main event, the co-main event, every fight on the card? Let me know. Is this the best fight card of all time? And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you again in the next one.